Get ready to get scared, y'all. You're gonna get freaked out here, people. Welcome back to the show. Our first guest today is one of the most trusted voices in the world of the paranormal. Dave Schrader dives deep into the strange and the supernatural, and he's back with a new TV series looking into some really chilling cases. Look at this.
You guys ready for this? All right. I'm going to go back to the HQ. I'll be listening and watching like usual. If you need anything, I'm just a call away.
Nope. No. And you thought 911 was scary. Yeah. Paranormal Mysteries premieres today on Beacon TV. Audience, give it up for our friend Dave Schrader. You're scarier than 911, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi, buddy. Okay, you've had a myriad of shows. What drew you to this, and what sets this one apart specifically?
Well, I'm a little disappointed. Originally, it was called 911 Paranormal, and I got to wear suspenders, and then we got to change
and rip
things
them
up.
Off
Yeah.
when a ghost comes. Yeah.
I was very blessed that I got to do a TV series with Shane Pittman and Cindy Kaza called The Holzer Files. Mm-hmm. And after that series did 2 full runs, we ended up on Ghosts of Devil's Perch. And then there's been a kind of a 2-year gap, and we just decided to get back together, do something fun, and Stream Beacon TV is your new home for paranormal, true crime, and horror. So we are one of their first big original series, so I'm excited to be back.
Yeah. So the team is back together. Does it ever get normal? Does it ever get easier to go into these creepy earth places where you just feel unsettled? Does it ever feel normal to you?
Yeah, that is my normal now.
Yeah, that is your normal now. Yeah.
But again, I help raise 11 of my children.
Yeah.
So I've seen just about every terror and horrible thing you could ever see. So kind of going into a demon-infested house at least
isn't like the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let's talk about the pilot episode, the first episode, Ashmore Estates in Illinois. Is this like a subdivision? Is it? It sounds like the Back to the Future subdivision.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah.
Only this is the alternate future where everything else is gone except for this old asylum. It's a really neat place, and the funny tie to this episode is my cousin owned it for about 20 years, and he was always like, you got to come visit, and I just couldn't coordinate. And I used to work behind the scenes on Ghost Adventures as a location scout, and I said, my cousin's got a place, and they wanted to come to the Midwest, so they said, all right, let's check it out. So that kind of helped put Ashmore Estates on the map. My cousin ended up selling the place, but the new owner, who we've been friends with for a while, said something is weird, and we ended up going in there to investigate. What
specifically? Because I know there's different degrees, and I don't know the terminology, and I know you will correct me. There are different degrees of nonsense that can go on in these places. Mm-hmm. What level of nonsense is going on at Ashmore Estates? Is it a ghost? Is it a poltergeist? Is it a shirtless fireman? What's going on here?
In a perfect world,
shirtless fireman.
Of course, obviously. It kind of has a myriad of different things. This episode captures a piece of evidence that was so big to me. We were sitting there and doing my favorite thing, doing EVP work, which is recording, with a couple of haunted dolls and toys that were on this table, because this room was known to have this little girl spirit that would be seen in it once in a while. So I started doing some communication, and finally I said, were you a resident here, or are you attached to one of these objects? And in the room, this kid's voice just says, yes. And we all heard it out loud. And it was great because my camera guy's filming me, and all of a sudden you hear this little voice go, yes. And he goes, And I mean, it filled the room. It was that loud.
It wasn't like a subtle.
No, it was like there was a little girl standing in the corner of the room talking to us, and everybody just kind of froze for a good 30 seconds. So that was a clenching moment in every possible way you could imagine.
Because you've seen it, you've seen it all.
Right.
I mean, you've been really, really frightened. Where is this on the Dave Schrader-o-meter? I mean, where is this little girl?
This one I'd put up at her about 8 or 9. Because again, it's one thing when you record something, you can kind of psychologically tell yourself, maybe I'm not really hearing a voice. Maybe my brain is trying to make this sound like something.
Make it into something, yeah.
But when you are in a room and you hear a voice speak out loud, it just kind of shakes you back into a different reality.
Well, and I'm sure it helps too when you're thinking, oh, am I, you know what I mean? Am I going a little, but when your cameraman has a reaction to the same voice, it's basically confirming little Carol Ann is here and she's angry.
Yes.
Yeah.
This house is clean. We're going for that at the end.
More with Dave when we come back. Back in a moment, everybody. Oh, Zelda.
Let's make it.
My buddy Dave Schrader's back, talking all things paranormal. Dave, general question. I'm asking for America, okay? Because we're not you. We don't have creepy spirit girls talking to us. What is the first sign, typically, in your experience? Because I always joke, you know, Eddie Murphy does a whole bit about this. About if he heard one voice, he would move out of his house, which I still think is one of the funniest bits ever. Anyway, what is typically, in your experience, the first thing that a ghost does to freak you out? You know what I mean? Because I now live in an older house, and I'm very keenly aware that that damn thing can be haunted. And I'm just listening. Do they like to move things? Do they like to pinch you? I mean, what do they like to do typically?
So in life, so in death. If you got a pinchy personality, as a ghost, you're going to be pinching, right? It can be a myriad of different things, from sounds to visual disturbances that you can actually see unfold before you. Sometimes it's just hearing the footsteps moving through the house. But again, there's no real answer to what a ghost is. Everybody wants to just compartmentalize. This is what a spirit is. This is what the ghost is. But we don't know that. There's so many subsects of ghosts and ghostly visitations, time slip phenomena, poltergeists, ghosts, demons. You know, you've got all of these possibilities, and I don't think we can rule any of them out. So that's why we go out and investigate.
Dave, can demons open a door? Because let me ask you,
no opposable thumbs.
No,
they just,
I know. Because Colin laughs at me.
Yeah.
I can't live. It's a weird OCD thing with me. Wherever I live, I have to have my bedroom door has to have a lock, because I have to lock my bedroom door. And Colin literally looks at me and he says, quote, "You are a moron. If a demon wants to get in here, it's going to get in here."
All right, you can tell Colin he's the moron, because we know sheets over the head keep demons from getting in. So why wouldn't a locked door? How about that, Colin?
I'm kidding with that one. Okay, let's talk about, I want to tease, watch episode 1, 2, and then episode 3, you go to Alabama. You go to a jail.
Yeah.
And I've been with you long enough. Jails it's just a cornucopia of nonsense.
Yes.
Is this Alabama jail another cornucopia of nonsense?
This has, listen, I'll probably get in trouble for giving this up, but this is one of the neatest pieces of evidence I've ever seen. We are in a cell where, sadly, at one night, Christmas, I believe it was, the inmate had fallen asleep while smoking and set fire to his cell, and because nobody was on staff, he lost his life while the other prisoners watched. So we did what's called a trigger object. We actually brought a cigarette into the cell and lit it and put it there to talk and try to, instigate. And all of a sudden, you see that cigarette go, like somebody's taking a draw. And we caught it on video, and we're all like, all right, maybe it was a draft, but there was no draft. And then all of a sudden it goes, again, like somebody's taking a hit.
Like
off
Joan Crawford is on the other end.
Yeah. So that was
Seriously?
that was pretty cool. So to be able to see some things like that, that's what keeps me so excited about this field, is every time you start to feel like jaded about what you do, something weird opens up and happens. So
let's talk about your documentary, Outer Edge, right, my friend?
Yes.
What's this one about, buddy?
The Outer Edge, which I'm really excited to
You're
be
looking
a part
at it now,
of,
buddy.
is a lot of it's filmed right here in Minnesota with some of our friends. Scott Walter from TV's America on Earth. We're up at the Palmer House Hotel in Sauk Center, Minnesota. We go out to Warren, Minnesota, which is the home of, I think, one of the greatest UFO mysteries ever. And the evidence still remains there. They have the police car that was affected by this UFO in their museum to come look at. And we go in and hear the story, talk to the people involved in exploring the paranormal that have had their own experiences to try to get their stories. But with the Warren UFO Museum, I actually ended up finding a piece of evidence that had been overlooked for over 40 years. I gave it to forensic geologist Scott Walter, and he came back and said, Dave, this is organic, and I don't know what we're looking at.
Can you take photographer Eric to that expert and just have him scanned just to make sure?
I'm pretty sure we're going to get the same response.
No
clue what we're looking at. Yeah.
Give it up for my buddy Dave Schrader. Everybody watch his new series, Paranormal Mysteries, on Beacon TV. And listen to his radio show, The Paranormal 360, on WCCO Radio on Sunday nights, or it's in podcast form if you're watching from around the country. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everybody.
Thank you, brother.
As always, thank you, buddy.